I live on a third of an acre in Colorado in a house built in 1958. When we moved here 5 years ago, almost all the yard was grass, and it was a very low quality grass. Rather than the lush green carpet of one grass variety, our yard is actually a mix of maybe 10 different kinds of different grasses and a lot of weeds. I'm amazed how little practical advice on sod removal that you'll actually find on the internet or YouTube, so I decided to make a video. I've removed a lot of grass in the last 5 years, and I've definitely failed on some previous projects. By failing, I mean that I dug up some grass, put in a nice garden, and then had the grass and the weeds quickly growing in the new garden. I'm too cheap to pay anyone to remove my grass, so through trial and error, I've learned how to dig pretty efficiently and dispose the grass by burying the grass in place. The only cost is your own time, and I won't lie, the work is pretty strenuous. But I've achieved good results with a variety of different applications, both vegetable gardens and xeric beds. In this video, I'll go over my philosophy on grass removal. Not that something like grass removal needs its own philosophy. In 2013, I removed about 1,000 square feet of grass and replaced it with a xeric rock garden, filled mostly with native plants. This is an aerial view from 2015, and you can see the rock garden. In 2018, I've removed another 1,000 square feet of grass. By removing about 5 sprinkler heads, my water usage has dropped noticeably, and my xeric garden actually requires far less maintenance than a lawn would. Here's a view of the finished front yard project. It looks okay and will look better next year, but this video isn't about xeric gardening, it's about removing the grass. More specifically, how did I dig up the grass and what do I do with it once I've dug it up? The standard internet answer to sod removal, if you can call it that, is to rent an industrial sod cutting machine. You can rent one from Home Depot for $96 a day, which is not cheap. They're big and heavy machines, so you'll need to transport it to and from your site. Unless you can work very efficiently, you might end up paying a few $100s, not including the time spent transporting and the gasoline. Ignoring the costs, notice these machines only cut the sod to a depth of about 2.5 inches or 6 to 7 centimeters. In my experience, I found that I need to dig at least 4 inches or 10 centimeters deep to keep the grass rhizomes or roots from popping back up in my garden. And don't forget grass root disposal. Assuming the job is pretty small and you have a pickup truck, it's going to cost you over $100 to take it to the landfill, not including your time or gas. Here's a cross-section view from my front yard. I've dug down about 16 inches or 40 centimeters. First, notice that the roots of this old grass penetrate to at least 4 inches. Some types of grass spread via rhizomes or root fragments. If the sod cutter leaves rhizomes behind, there's a good chance that the grass will regrow at your site. Below the base of the grass roots, the soil is basically sterile clay loam. It's highly compacted, so it's difficult for roots of any kind, even trees, to penetrate. And excess rainwater tends to run into the street rather than remain in the soil where I desperately need it. If you were installing a new garden bed, you would certainly amend the soil to a depth of at least 6 inches or 15 centimeters. If you need to dig 6 inches, why not dig a little deeper and just bury the grass? Number one, the grass will slowly compost, enriching the soil in the process. Number two, the buried grass will improve drainage and help the new plants get strong, deep roots. How do we go about digging up and burying the grass? The first layer is designed to just extract the grass and the roots. You'll be surprised how easy it is to dig through the grass layer. I have old, tough grass, and this was by far the easiest part of the process. I just used a standard spade shovel for all this work. Be sure to separate the grass pile from the dirt pile. And be sure not to situate the piles too far from the hole, or you'll end up moving a lot of heavy dirt back and forth, which can be a lot of work. Next, we dig out another layer of dirt. There's a small chance that this layer will be contaminated with grass rhizomes or even taproots from weeds like dandelions. So ideally, you want to dig even deeper and bring the cleanest soil up to the surface. We put the dirt from the second layer into its own pile. Finally, we dig a third deep layer. You're aiming to dig a total of about 12 inches or 30 centimeters deep. For me, this is about 3 levels cut with my spade shovel. We put the dirt from the deep layer, which should be clean and weed free, into a separate deep pile. The grass burying process works in reverse. We want the grass pile at the bottom of the hole. Then the dirt from the second pile goes on top of the grass. And finally, the clean dirt from the deep pile goes to the surface. Again, you'll obviously want to amend the soil with compost or something similar prior to planting, but I'm not going to discuss that in this video. Here you can see how I've dug down to about 12 inches or 30 centimeters deep. I laid a layer of dirt and grass face down in sort of a fish scale pattern. You want to overlap the chunks of grass to conserve space. If you don't, you'll end up digging a bunch more than you have to. You can't see the piles of dirt because they're off the camera, but I did shovel 8 inches of clean dirt on top of this grass. In closing, I showed you a fairly efficient method to dig up and bury grass in place for free. The roots of the new plants will be able to penetrate deep into the soil, and the old grass will compost in place. If you try to DIY this job with a sod cutter and then take the grass to the landfill, you're going to pay at least several hundred dollars. If you pay a landscaper, I suspect that you'll end up paying at least $1,000 unless it's a very tiny project. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.